Did I record? So because I had some questions about what this looks like as concrete. Oh, and I didn't flip them. All right. I need to do a little bit more work. So I recorded a couple of videos of me actually solving these problems with concrete algebra blocks. Okay, so that's the that's posted in the timeline in the playlist as well, so that sometimes that may click with so kind of as an in between between going from the algebra blocks to then the virtual manipulative, which is where I drag and drop on the computer. So I'm hoping that that'll be more helpful in the future as well. So I'll make sure that I've flipped them right side up. It's a technical glitch, but they're up there, and I'll continue to do that. That with the last one, that with a problem, with any group of problems, I'll post a particular concrete solution to a problem as well, so you see what it actually looks like with algebras. Okay. Any other? I'm just gonna get out of here. Any other questions or comments? How are you guys doing on timing? Are you staying on track with the tasks? Is this a good amount of material for a day, for a week?
Yeah, I
Right.
think it's like a good, like it's really even with like how much we have for like each thing, and then like not too much, like not just like repeating yourself a ton of times, like, but it's just enough practice to like really understand it. So
Okay.
I
I
think it's
did post, just to share my screen here quickly. I did post and will post again these additional practice for those if you need them. So the algebra blocks activities are just the ones that I'm going through, that I'm working through, but these additional practice exercises are those kind of drill things that you would probably remember from some textbooks, high school textbooks. I'm not by any stretch of the imagination expecting you to do them all. It's just that if you feel like you need more practice to really make sure that you understand how the algebra blocks are working, you can do them, and the answers are right in the back. So the answers for those are in the back. Okay, and that was for pages 1 through 12, and then 16 through 21. Okay. So that it's kind of it's up to you what your how much practice you need. So you just judge yourself.
okay.
Okay. I posted the assignment, and I think I told you that by email or Piazza. So the assignment is due April 27th for you guys. It is a video, kind of an explanation, similar to what I'm doing with those concrete videos. Okay, so an explanation, or you can use it with the virtual manipulative as well, where you drag and drop. And each one of you on the second page has your own examples to go through. Okay, so if you take a look down below, then you'll see in reverse alphabetical order by first name. I just picked an order. You will have to do 5 examples. So addition, a subtraction, multiplication, division, and a factoring. Okay, so that'll be on video, kind of and you don't have to be, your face doesn't have to be on video, but there certainly needs to be voiceover with explanations of how to think about this. Okay. Make sure you read through what the focus is. The focus is on why, the focus is on connecting to your language to what is happening with the algebra blocks, right? Not to, talk about canceling or like terms or FOIL or anything like that. So I've created a list of really tempting banned words, because those are the words that are just very abstract and usually don't mean anything in terms of algebra blocks, like distribute the negative. That is not a meaningful thing in terms of when you're on an algebra blocks mat. So I've listed a few of those. You might come up with more, and I've given some space here if you guys want to give me some more to put in here. And then the permitted words, or words that you can use with the algebra blocks, they're not exhaustive. There's more as well, but things like place or remove, 0 pairs, the value of the mat, right? The area is the product, or the dimension is the factor, simplify, those kinds of things. Those actually make sense on the mat, on the algebra block mat, whereas other ones don't. Okay. So you really want to focus on that connection to to the algebra blocks. Okay. Any questions on the assignment? Okay. For this week, we're getting into the real nitty-gritty of factoring and really factoring trinomials on the algebra blocks. So the videos, it's been a week. I have not posted them yet. They will be up. So the first video that we're going to do is, that I'm going to post, is a video of the structure. Let's say that I give you, 17 examples of multiplying two binomials. And what does the product look like? So from the very beginning, we know it's going to be a rectangle, right? So any product with straight dimensions is going to be a rectangle. But what happens within that rectangle? And I'm going to show you the solutions for those 17 or however many problems. And we're going to look for patterns in those solutions. Like, what is it? Where are the square pieces all the time? Where are the little green pieces all the time? Where are the rods all the time, right? So that we can give us an idea of what looks like a realistic product and what doesn't. Once we do that, it's going to help us a lot in terms of factoring. Because with factoring, you're given the product and you need to set it up in some way in a rectangle. So that you can read off the dimensions, right? Because the factors are the dimensions. So what we want to do in a big picture is set it up, in order to set up a mess of blocks in a product, is to know what some of the patterns in that product are. So it would be helpful to know, that there might be two areas where the rods might fit, or there might be only one area where the squares fit, right? So those kinds of patterns. And then once we figure out that pattern, then the factoring becomes much easier. Okay, so that's kind of what we're building up to. So the bulk of the work is going to be on practicing the factoring. And so that's going to take us through page 27. And then really why. So we'll do a couple of pages where we use the factoring and we use them to solve equations, and we use them to solve some, fairly traditional word problems that we used to, that I'm sure you remember from grade 11, 12. So, but to really make sense of it and to give you the full progression of this is how algebra blocks can start at adding integers very early on, or even adding regular, just basic numbers, whole numbers, all the way through to factoring, right? So how this one model can really be very constant throughout all the grades, so all the material. So that's the focus for this week. Okay. And then next week, we will get into a little bit more algebra and eventually finish off with completing the square. Do you guys remember completing the square?
Mm-hmm.
That grade 11, 12 nightmare. So we'll do that with algebra blocks as well, to kind of tie all of that in. So, and it's actually quite a fun, it's, to me, when I learned how to factor and complete the square with algebra blocks, I had two reactions. One was like, wow, this is really cool. And the other reaction was anger, profound anger, that why did I not learn it this way all the way through? Because it made no sense to me then. And if I had only learned it this way, it would all make sense. And so get ready for that. It's certainly a common feeling. And I get a sense from that kind of reflection back from students all the time. So that's kind of our next couple of weeks. Meanwhile, keep working on your assignments, and feel free to do a rough recording and then send it to somebody to take a look at. Send it to me to take a look at if you'd like, and then re-record the final with your explanation and all your exercises. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So if you are good with posting on YouTube and make it private so that you can send me a link and I can look, that's fine. In the long term, if once it's a final explanation in your final assignment, it would be great if you guys actually made it public on YouTube. There are few, very, very, very few good explanations of algebra blocks out there. And most of them are very procedural and kind of very not really connected to the idea of algebra blocks. So it'd be great if once you're done, we are able to make that public so that others can use them in your classes. It's kind of cool to see the number of hits that you're going to get with these. It's also good for your CV. If you have a video for your resumes when you're applying, if you have a video out there with, you know, a good solid number of hits that you can say you've got your technology, you're using technology, you're using manipulatives, here's an example, right, with a whole bunch of hits. So it's a really good thing to keep track of afterwards. Okay. Any questions, comments, concerns, ideas, anything else?
I was just able to watch the class that I missed, so this was cool that you're able to like record the class. So
if I remember,
yeah,
right now I'm doing 2 out of 3. In the first week, you guys didn't get a recording from the Monday, and then this week, the middle class, I forgot to record. But anyway, that's the. If you know what, one thing you can do is when you're here, remind me. It's like start the recording.
Okay, I will. I'll try.
So that's the goal.
Yeah, that was good. That was helpful.
Good.
Yeah.
All right. Any other? It's just the 3 of you guys. I've got a couple of emails about you know, stuff happening. It does, sadly, but hoping you guys are okay. And if you get stuck, just call me during like come back here on Tuesday night or Friday, and I'll go do that. And just like with these concrete videos, that was an idea from Cora from the class. And I just said, yeah, that's amazing. I didn't even think that was a gap that would be helpful to fill. So, you know, she gave me that idea, and it's excellent. So I'm happy to do that. So anytime you kind of like, oh, I'm having a tough time visualizing this or doing this, let me know, and I'll either add another video, or I'll be able to explain right on the spot, but we'll figure something out to help there.
Okay.
That's good. All right. Okay, well, you're free to stick around. Welcome to stick around if you have other questions. Otherwise, have a good week. And I will see you on Monday, if not before.
Okay, have a good week.
All right, thanks. You too.